Well, for nearly 40 years, Mike Madigan was the Illinois Speaker of the House, but history has been made. Emanuel Chris Welch was elected and becomes the first African-American to hold the position. He joins us now. Congratulations, Speaker. Has it sunk in yet?
Well, it hasn't sunk in quite yet, but being on Windy City Live with you and Val, I'm starting to believe something big happened.
You are a politician.
Right. Speaker, what does your family have to say about this? Are you now walking around the house like, hey, I'm a big deal. I'm the first African-American Black Speaker of the House?
Well, they keep reminding me that I'm not the big man in the house. They keep me humble.
Yeah, somebody's got to keep you grounded.
They keep me very grounded. And my wife and my two kids, Tyler and Marley, they're 8 and 6, and just watching them enjoy and soak up this moment has been real special as well. Just today, my son asked me this morning, he said, when was Illinois founded? And I said, 1818. And I see his mind, he said, that's over 200 years ago. And you're the first Black over 200 years? And I said, yes, son, it took us over 200 years.
Right.
And I said, and that's what Martin Luther King fought for this opportunity to happen. And so that was a special moment that just happened today.
Yeah, wow. that gave me chills.
I was just going to say, how special is that? And just imagine what his future will be. You know, because that's what we're counting on. What are your, so you've got a lot on your plate and you've got, I'm sure, a big agenda. What are the top priorities that you want to have happen for residents of Illinois?
So, there's some administrative things I got to get out of the way right away. And one of the things you do is it's almost like a president announcing his cabinet and the excitement that comes with that. I got to announce my leadership team. So I spent all weekend working on that, and then we can really hit the ground running once I roll that out. And you can rest assured that it's going to be a very diverse group of people that look like the state of Illinois and is representative of the makeup of our caucus. But we got to roll up our sleeves and get our arms around COVID-19. If we're going to rebuild Illinois and rebuild our economy, we got to address the issue of COVID-19. And I think it's not a coincidence. Everything is happening for a reason. We're going to have a new president and vice president sworn in on Wednesday. They're going to have to help us from state and local level pretty quickly so that we can have an idea of what we're working with. And then we're going to have to address some real tough budget issues here in the state of Illinois. But I certainly think a nice jolt from the federal government wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, Speaker, we have so much going on in our country. As you know, we're so divided. How long is it going to take to try to get somewhere when it comes to unity and bringing back respect for one another, regardless of political party?
Well, that division didn't happen overnight. And so we're going to have to be consistent in what we do and what we say. And my inauguration speech was all about us being united. If we're going to accomplish the tough things that we really need to accomplish, we have to do it in a united fashion. I'm no longer going to talk about my colleagues as Democrats and Republicans. We're all elected representatives and we're all challenged with solving these tasks together. And we're only going to get it done if we're working together. We have to lower the rhetoric. We have to stop the politics of destruction and negativity and really focus on, working together. And, there's so many things that we agree on. I think if we start there, we can build trust. And when we get to those tough things, because we built that trust, we'll actually get a lot more accomplished.
I agree with you. And I'm just so hopeful. I mean, sometimes it seems so grim and it seems like it's never going to happen. But I think as long as we remain hopeful that it will, and we're seeing, like you said, you're going to have your cabinet be reflective of what the state looks like and just diversity and all of that. But I do want to ask you, with the Biden administration taking over this week, what do you want or need from the federal government in support for Springfield?
Well, I think first and foremost, we want a government that listens to the states. And I think the change is being welcomed all across the country, in blue states and red states, because we need a government at the federal level that takes the lead.
Right.
We have to stop taking a week by week, month by month approach to COVID-19 when we know that this is a problem that's going to go on for a while. And that only happens with good leadership at the top. We need that 100-day mask mandate. We need a real vaccine distribution plan. Only 4% of the people have received a vaccine so far. That's because of failure in leadership out of the top. And I think we're going to get that pretty quickly out of the Biden-Harris administration. and we need to, as states, continue to reach out and embrace them and to support them any way we can.
Yeah, now we obviously know Mike Madigan has been a household name in this state for a very, very long time. But I read that you are for term limits on legislators.
Well, I'm for term limits on the speaker. I'm not a believer in term limits on legislators. I think that, term limits on legislators, that's what we have elections for. But I did tell my colleagues that I do believe, limiting the speakership, we shouldn't have folks that are speakers for 20 and 30 years to come. We should probably look at putting a bill in place that limits it at 10 years possibly. I definitely think it has to go through the process and get thoughts from other people. But after 10 years of doing this job, I couldn't imagine wanting to go on anymore. And you pass it to the next, build a bench.
Yeah, this is our 10th year. We say the same thing. This is our 10th year.
I want another 10 years.
Yeah, no, I do
term
too.
limits on this show.
I
Okay,
do too.
So listen, we talked about a lot of good stuff, right? But we want to know a little bit more about you. I know you spent a lot of time in Springfield, but when you're back here in Chicago, what do you like to do?
Well, I'm a baseball fan. I'm a big baseball fan, and I like to take my 8-year-old, and we go to the batting cages, and he keeps reminding me that I owe him a trip to the batting cage. This past weekend, because of being caught in a whirlwind of activity in Springfield last week, my daughter said, "You didn't call me every night, so you have to take me on a shopping spree."
Oh, she's smart.
Sounds like she's talking to Val.
And she's only 6, so we had to go. We had to go to Target, and she had fun.
My kind of girl. Okay, you said you're a big baseball fan. Sox or Cubs?
Well, I'm a diehard Cubs fan, but I'll root for the Sox, and I think they're going to have a pretty good year. So I'm a Chicago fan, but I was pretty happy in 2016.
Yeah, and a Chicago guy. Proviso West, then Northwestern, law school at UIC, so definitely Chicagoan through and through. Congratulations once again.
And thanks so much for
both.
joining us.
It's my pleasure, my honor. Thank you all.